Hi everybody, it's Nadia here again, and I'm bringing to you a ramble and rant. And basically I will be doing my makeup as I talk to you about what's been going off over the past 2 years with my daughter. It's been a hard slog. We still don't know what the problem is, but things came to a head. We don't know what was caught. We still don't know what's causing this, but what she's got, as I explained in the video, it's something that can't be explained. I'm just going to say to you guys, I'm going to jump in now into me on this ramble and rant about my daughter's illnesses. Here is me with bare face starting this ramble. So guys, this is just probably me going to be rambling on about what's been going off over the past few months. I thought I'd come and do Shop My Stash. I'll have done an intro. Basically, I'm just going to ramble because everything's... You know when you feel like everything's going wrong for you? That's what it feels like. I'm going in with BECCA Under Eye Primer. I'm just going to put this on. About 18 months ago, my youngest daughter started having these like sickness attacks, and they'd last about 7 to 10 days, and they were coming quite frequent, especially this last year. They were literally like every 4 to 6 weeks, and we've like discounted alcohol, we've discounted smoking, we've discounted a lot of her dietary stuff, but we couldn't get past the fact that everything we discounted, she was still literally being sick for 7 to 10, and I mean it's solid, it's not nice, it just is, and it's horrible, and all you do is hear her like wrenching, and I'm like, please stop, because it was making me feel poorly, but obviously it's not her fault. Last month she was put on these injections. Sorry guys, that was the poor license to blot. And then I'm going in with a quick fix Urban Decay just to do a bit more priming. The month ago she was having another bout of a sickness, and she going in with the MAC strobe cream, and yeah, she was having another bout of the sickness and nothing was working. The tablets they were giving her wasn't working, so they turned around and said, well, what we'll do is we'll put her on an injection. I had her all weekend really poorly, because that's why we thought about it being alcohol, because it was when she went out. So it turns out that it wasn't alcohol doing this to her. So I'm going in with the It Bye Bye under eyes. Basically they were saying that she needed these injections to stop her from feeling sick. So on the Monday when we went up, she had them. On the Tuesday when she went up, she had them, because she couldn't stop being sick. And I think by the Wednesday of her having this sickness, she was, I think she had about 8 hours that day, and that's all. 8 hours of her not being sick. And when she woke up, it had calmed down a lot, but Clinique foundation, and she basically, we went back for another injection so that it would calm her down. And when we was in the doctors, she passed out. She basically, we got her up off the floor and went into the doctor's room, like do, and she laid on the bed and they gave her the injection. She was feeling fine. My doctor's is really good, especially concerning this, and they turned around and was like, well, just stay in the room till you feel comfortable to leave, you know. We'll probably see you tomorrow, because if this carries on, we're going to have to teach you, meaning me, how to do the injections, because obviously the weekend was coming up. So it's like, okay then. We sat in the room and she was like, Mum, I feel really bad. She said, I want to lie down again. And I went, why? And she was like, I just feel like I'm gonna be sick. So she lied down on the floor, and next minute, no, do I see her lying there, and I was holding her hands on the floor. Yes, even with my issues, I still do these things, and I know I shouldn't, but when it's your daughter or your son or somebody you love, you do it. So going in with the Tarte Sculpt, I'm just going to sculpt out this cheek. Her hand started to go really strange, and she was squeezing my hand, and she like pulled a finger away, and next minute I know she's gone into a full-blown fit. I'm screaming at the door, doctor, doctor, nurse, come quick. This isn't right, this isn't right. I panicked, but only because I was on my own, and when you've never had anybody around you have a fit, it's really hard to determine not what you want, but what's going off. Going in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer. I did tell you this is just a Ramble and Rant. I'll tell you what I'm using, but doctor came in, and I was like, it took her probably not that long to come around from the fit, but it took her longer to come around from the after effect of the fit. They were trying to get her to talk, and she wouldn't talk, and I'm like, what's going off? Why is this happening? So they called an ambulance. The ambulance was called. About 20 minutes later it turned up, I think. Maybe a little bit less, but you're not really watching the clock when it happens. You're really not. You really don't know what to do when you're put in that situation. You know, it's your kids. The ambulance turned up. Well, you know, the ones that, the first one, he's like first responser, he turned up, and he was trying to talk to her, and she was like, sounds really strange, she was like, I'm really sorry, and I'm like, you've not done anything bad, because this is how she reacts. And she was like, I'm sorry, and she was saying to the paramedics, but it still wasn't her, it wasn't my daughter that was there. And I just was like, look, this is not right. So they put all the stuff on her, did all the tests, everything normal, everything. Every time she goes to the doctors was the blood pressure normal, her heart rate was normal, everything, temperature was normal, no high temperature, no nothing. Believe me, I wanted to choke somebody. Obviously after that, we the actual ambulance turned up, and they put her in the ambulance. I'm using the Laura Geller Baked and Brightened, and they put her in the ambulance, and just as we walked into the ambulance, they didn't notice, they weren't watching, and that's what annoyed me, because I turned around and went, she's having another fit, and they went, no she's not. I went, look at her hands, because her hands had gone like claws, but all these had all bent backwards, like her hands aren't right, you know. And yes, she had another fit, but because once she'd come round from the fit, she's still delirious. She wouldn't have the ambulance strap on, and I just went, take it off her, just give her a minute to calm down. She obviously don't know what's going off, and she's still delirious, so why are you pushing for her to be rushed? And they were like, yeah, but we need to get to the hospital to get her sorted, and I can understand that, but surely you'd have been better off driving safe with her strapped in than not. So eventually she calmed down. They were basically holding her down. One of the paramedics even pinched her and has left a mark on her arm, and I was fuming because I was like, she did go ouch because it hurt, but to leave a bruise on her arm, he must have pinched her really hard. She went ow and still carried on what she was doing. I understand if you're not compos mentis and they do that on your chest to arouse you, but to pinch somebody when they are, but then just not compos mentis in the state that they can't tell you anything. She couldn't tell him anything anyway. So why did they go and do that? I don't understand it. They wanted her to settle down basically, and I know that, but it wasn't working. I have to use loads of this, guys. We got out of the ambulance, they put her back onto the normal chair, and she went into another fit. This is just the MAC strobe, still using it, MAC lip balm. And then they just took her off into God knows where, doing God knows what to her. And because I'd now witnessed it twice, I knew how she came around. And I just wanted to go in there and scream at them, because again, they were pushing, they were pulling, they were doing this, they was doing that. And I was like, just let me in. And I told you, it took, I'm using the Chanel Soleil de Bronzer. Everything hopefully will be linked down below. After about 40 minutes, they brought me in. She hadn't had another fit, because whatever they gave her had stopped her, but she had to go down for MRI, you know, literally everything you can think of she had to go down for. And I've done all results negative, so nothing wrong with her, but she's having fits. So I'm like, okay then, when's somebody gonna come and tell me that what's going off? I'm looking a bit brown and white-eyed, but ayo. So they put her on the ward to monitor her, and they took loads of bloods for everything. Don't get me wrong, they did a really good job, but my still point is they don't know what's wrong with her. What is it you're gonna actually do? And they obviously they just run tests. So it's like, okay, you're gonna run these tests and you're gonna find out something or other. And they did. They found out her kidneys had packed up. Hello baby Tink. Her kidneys had packed up. She had, it's called, she hadn't got CK, which is something to do with the muscles. The muscles had started to go funny. That was like the first couple of days. I'm just gonna put my eyeshadow on, I think, and I'm going to try, I put in this MAC one, so I think I'm just gonna go in with this. I just want a simple look, so I'll draw you in for this, and then I can carry on with this. It's not a story, it's our lives, but you know what I mean. So first of all, I'm taking this light yellow shade, and I'm just gonna put that like in my crease. They found that in the first couple of days, so she was being treated for that. She was put on medication for it, which was fine and dandy. And I'm going to go into baby pink here, because that didn't do, just sort of set everything down nicely, that did. Then turned around and said, obviously all these kidneys and stuff, and they've just got to keep topping her up with everything that's wrong with her. What's the next step? I was like, because this has been going on for 18 months, so every 18 months her kidneys are packing up then. He was like, no, because she's had the fits, her kidneys, and being sick so much, her kidneys have just said, I'm not going to work for you. They could make it right with fluids and some antibiotics. I was like, brilliant. I'm going in with the light purple shade. I'm going to put that in my crease, but slightly lower. Then took her for the female parts to be done, because obviously they have to check everything. She'd had an MRI, a CAT scan, because obviously having a fit is bad for you. Came out of them, nothing wrong. She did have a womb infection, but that's not what caused the seizures. And no, she hasn't got an STI, because they told her that as well. So she went, Lily's ain't got that. I was like, weird child. Gave her antibiotics for the infection in the womb. On the outer part, I'm just going to put the dark purple from this. That's all they could find wrong with her. And I'm like, they're like, so we're treating that. I'm like, well, that's fair enough, but what about all this sickness that she's been having for 18 months to 2 years? You know, are you going to do something about that? They're like, yeah, we're trying to sort it, we need to get on top of these other things first. I'm like, I understand that, but you know what's wrong with her there. You don't know what's wrong with her when she's being sick. And they were like, well, we do, because basically it's sickly vomiting. And I was like, how long and how many years is that going to last? They went, I don't know. And I was like, not really, that's what I wanted, but this is beyond ridiculous. So by this point we'd been in the hospital for 5 days. We'd been in hospital. They still didn't know anything. She had a womb infection and the CK levels were low. Obviously they put that all right, so she's fine now. They still don't know what's wrong with her. So we've got to wait till she has another go of this sickly. I can't use this palette, this is rubbish. So I'm going into the chocolate bar and I'm going to use this purple in here and darken this outer part. I do like that, that's better. I'm going to take this one just here, and I'm just going to use my finger and pack it on. She was like, you're not giving me anything. So after everything had finished, they wasn't giving her anything, they were just literally watching her, and they were like, but we're waiting for the specialist. I'm like, we go to see the specialist on 31st of July. Why is she going to come here? Because she's not even based at QMC. So I just turned around and went, look, forget it. She says, I just want to go home, Mum. I went, well, the only way I'm going to use the Too Faced Peach to blush up my cheeks. Because I didn't know which one I was going to use. So she says, I'm fed up now. I've been here and I know I'm ill. Oh, a little bit too much. I know I'm ill, but I just want to go home. I just want to just be in my own bed. I think this was Wednesday. I just want to be in my own bed. I was like, yeah, but Ella, you're still on your drips. You need to be realistic about things. Thursday come, they've taken her off the drips. I'm just going to do my eyebrows. Not that I like this Anastasia pencil either. I'm just going to whack these on. Taking the OFRA highlight, I'm going to just pop that on my cheeks. Basically, that was Thursday. She was still in hospital. And I turned around to her and I was like, she was like, I just want to go home, I just want to go home. You know, when they're not doing anything, not giving her medication, she's just sat there being watched. Because we were kicking a fuss up, basically saying, we need to see somebody that specialises in this sickly thing. And they were like, yeah, we're just waiting. And then on the Friday, so technically she's been in for a week and a day. And I just turned around and I said, look, not being funny, but if you're not going to do anything for her, we might as well just go home. Instead of wasting everybody's money for her stay in hospital, everything. And so they turned around and they were like, well, we don't know. They gave her, we still don't know what's wrong with her, by the way, at all, nothing. That started this whole scenario off of her having the fits, and then the kidney failure, and then the all the rest of it. We don't know, nobody knows. So I'm going in with the Lancome Absolute for my lips. They said she could go home after doing the tests and all the rest of it. So I'm going to use the Peachy Mist from Too Faced. Oh, no, not. That just spits at you. So I'm going to use the GLAM Glow Setter. I turned around to her and I was like, while we're waiting for medication, I was like, they're going to send you home and we're just going to have to cut out what we think. Nah, we don't know for sure, and I don't think we'll ever know. Because if it is this sickly thing, she could have it for the rest of her life, and anything could be the trigger. They will obviously try and work out what her triggers are by doing tests, which is why we've got the appointment still. and I'm going in with all about Benefit Lash. When they let her out on the Friday, they gave her tablets to take twice a day for a womb infection, because it basically not cleared up, but one tablet twice a day would work just as good as being in hospital. Something to fight the pain, because obviously when you're constantly being sick or retching, which is what she was doing, it hurts, and it hurts your back, and you know, so she was given some of that. She's come home and she's been fine again, and it's like, I really don't understand why they can't find out. I do understand. I'm not having a go. NHS is brilliant, but I think they could have let her go a lot earlier. They don't know why she had a seizure. They don't know anything. So at the moment it's all up in the air. Like I said, we've got the appointment, and this will go out after the appointment. I'll have to update you in another one, and I'm not being funny, you just want that pain. You'd rather have that pain than your kids have it. That's the way I feel. I'd have rather gone through all of that than for her to. So the moral of my story is that my daughter's really poorly, and I haven't got a clue what's wrong with her. They're saying it's this sickly thing, but I don't know. I just want her to get through this and be a happy person. It's been a hard struggle. I'll probably do another update on this and on my other daughter, because she's also got hospital in middle of August. I'm just like feeling it left, right and centre. Hers is a bit more personal, but I probably will talk about it in another video after I've dealt with it, because I've got to deal with it as well, same as when I dealt with my other daughter that's at home. It's taken me a couple of weeks to even think about doing this video with you guys. I just want to do this video just to show people that even when you are really poorly and really down and things do keep attacking you, you can actually get up from them. And that's what I want to put out there. Yeah, there's a reason behind everything that you have to go through in life, and what my family has to battle with. I'm so glad that they kept her in that extra day so that she could get over what she'd got. But if they didn't, I would have had to keep an eye on her at home. I was out of it anyway. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this makeup look. I know I ramble a lot in it. This is why it's called a Ramble and Rant. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll also keep you updated. Bye.